warriors. Living and surviving are two different things. Today's featured guest is Christi Venable, founder and CEO of Smile Therapy Servicesis. Christi is an award-winning business owner, licensed therapist, mental health advocate, and organizational leadership and culture change expert. Please give a warm welcome to Christi.
Dear Life Warriors, it's me, Shar, your favorite corporate life coach. And today, my guest just keeps getting better and better. I am with the amazing Christi Venable. I think I pronounced her last name correctly, right, Christi?
That's correct.
Actually the founder and owner of a multi-million-dollar business. It's called Smile Therapy Servicesis. I can't wait to dive into that. We are going to hear all about her journey. She's going to talk to us about mental health. We're going to get into some corporate things, but most importantly, her success has happened over the span of 6 years. Yes, 6 years. So I can't wait to actually get some tips from you, Christi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's so great to be here. I definitely just look forward to, just talking about, I'm always happy to talk about mental health. Thank you for having me and inviting me.
Yes. First and foremost, I have to really big up LinkedIn. I've been making some really amazing connections on there. And I'm loving your posts. And I saw you just made a 6-year anniversary celebration.
Yes. Thank you, God.
Yes. You have like 23 employees already.
Yeah.
And growing.
And growing.
Yes. And you are a woman of color. I am truly ecstatic right now. Congratulations on all that success. And 6 years seems like it's such a short time, but I'm pretty sure for you, it wasn't.
No, I don't think it felt, I felt like it felt short and long at the same time. So yeah, I agree. I felt like, oh, wow, 6 years. But then I'm like, ooh, 6 years.
I know.
So yeah, it's been a long road. It's really been a long road, but we are definitely just grateful to be able to still be here. Right. So many people didn't make it out of the pandemic. They didn't make it through, some of the small businesses. And, every day we're just grateful that we were able to make it through, that we're able to continue to thrive and continue to help people in need, which is definitely our first and foremost vision for the company. So super grateful.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit, what exactly is Smile Therapy Servicesis? What do you do?
Okay. So Smile Therapy Servicesis is a mental health and wellness agency. And so we provide not only direct mental health therapy support for individuals and families, but we also provide different mental health workshops, something that we call safe space sessions. More recently, just because of everything that has been going on and everything that we have seen, we've really been targeting organizations and corporations. But we actually, we got started because of really the need that I saw in my community with mental health. And although, we're based in DC, mm-hmm. And so if anyone knows about DC and services, DC has a lot of services. Right. There's so many agencies in DC, but really
for mental health.
For mental health.
Really? Oh.
There is. So I would definitely commend DC on that. There are a lot of different agencies, right? But really what I saw, because I actually used to work at one of, the largest agency that provided services for youth. But what I saw was really the quality. Yeah. In the services that were being provided, especially to Ward 7 and 8, which is the most underserved population in DC, and that's just happened to be where I'm from, Ward 8. And so for me, it was really personal and wanting to make sure that I can develop something for the most vulnerable population. Wow. And so really that's what Smile came from. That's how we got started. I actually started out in the school system. I was a school counselor. I felt like forever.
I know.
And, and I love the kids. I love the kids, but I had to, just go out there, get that community mental health work experience. And so that's what led me, after I got that experience, that's really what led me to start Smile. I knew about the schools. I perfected the school system. I knew what they needed as well.
Right.
And then seeing it from the community side, the need was even greater. And so, I just thought I always wanted to have my own business. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start my own company.
Wow.
I'm going to start my own company. And for me, I wanted it to be about quality, not quantity.
Yeah.
And I wanted us to really focus on customer service, because I feel like that is the most important thing with any business, your customer service. And so I wanted to make sure that we had the highest quality of customer service, no matter who you were. Coming into Smile. So we are all licensed therapists. We're licensed professional counselors, and that's by trade. I'm a licensed professional counselor. I have licensed social workers on staff. I have art therapists, licensed marriage and family therapists. So we're a collective of all licensed professionals. And we provide therapy services or mental health, like educational services.
Wow.
For different organizations. Yes.
Love
So, yeah.
Oh my goodness, girl. I am like so happy and amazed, and probably makes my heart smile just to hear that. I'm only in my third year of business, and I know, my year one was like, I don't know. Year two is like, oh, maybe I could do this. Year three, and I'm in the middle of COVID, and it's like, oh God, I have to pivot. I have to do all these things.
Yeah.
But I know you start out as, typically, I want to hear your journey, but my journey was a one-man show where was like, if God don't send me some help really soon, like really, really soon. And, my story too is where I funded my own business, where I was using my money to make things happen, which makes you cry at some point, where you're watching your money dwindling down, and you're like, well, where is the blessings? So for you, I don't know if it's just, I would love to hear that journey, because I know with therapists and having to have people on staff and having to pay them right away, how did you navigate that world?
So yes, Smile started out as a one-woman's show. I was everything, right? And and ultimately that's just how it has to be when you get started. When you start a business, you have to be the everything. Especially if you don't have like the capital to really bring people on board first. And so like you, I use my own money as well. Since we started, I've never had a loan. I've never had any funding from anyone other than contracts and grants that we've won. And so, I really try to be strategic in how I created the company. And so when we started, I actually was working full time.
Wow.
I was working full time, and I was doing the business essentially almost full time. And so, I literally started off just doing therapy.
Right.
And it was one client at a time. And for me, I was lucky because I did come from a school system, and I already had, families that I worked with that I kept in touch with. And I say, I'm starting my own business soon, I'll be coming back, to get my kids. Right. And so in all of my parents, we were really close, and they couldn't wait.
Right.
Yes, please come back, work with them. And that's how I got started. I literally started one kid at a time. all of my old students that I worked with when I was working at the schools in the school system.
Wow.
And so, I didn't just right away jump out there and, like not, quit my job. I really try to do it strategically. So working and also seeing clients. So I was building my cash up as I was growing. So I was growing, and so for the students, I was accepting their insurance. So, I had to do a lot of work before I got started because I had to get credentialed, something that's called credentials with insurance companies. I had to do all of that beforehand. So once my first contract with the insurance company came, it was like, let's go. Let's go. And so from there, I started networking. I started going back to all of my old colleagues to say, hey, this is what I'm doing. And they just started referring kids. They started referring families. And it literally started with just word of mouth, me just going to my network saying, this is what I'm doing. These are the families I can accept. This is the insurance I accept. And, I knew how great the need was in the school. And so, of course, my first thing is to go back to the schools where they need someone to work with their kids. And that's how I got started. And literally within my 8th month of the business, I had, I started growing so fast, it was difficult for me to continue working my full-time job and doing the business. And at that point, really the company that I was working for, they were literally, they were in disarray. They were really going downhill. So for me, it was like, this is the time.
Right.
This is the time. And so, I was having a meeting with my supervisor at that time, and I really didn't even know I was going to leave right then. I didn't know, but I met with her and she asked me a question. How are you doing? And it was just like God just dumped something in my spirit and said, today is the day.
Wow. And you just quit.
And I quit.
Wow.
I have not looked back, and that was in October. And I have not looked back ever since. I have kept it going, pushed. I hired my first contractor like December of that year.
Wow.
And actually one of my first contractors that I hired, he still works with us.
Okay. That means
crazy enough. Yes.
He is doing a good job with keeping the employee experience well.
Yep. He is still trucking it with me. And so I'm definitely proud of that, being able to keep a lot of my staff that I started with. But it has been a journey.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I know, because even it sounds like you probably had to learn a lot of new things, because when you're running a business, there's parts that you probably never even dealt with before. Even more so, okay, now I got a contractor. How do I pay the contractor? How do I process that? How do I run a payroll? How do I, where do I even go to get the contractor, hire a contractor? I'm sure all those things.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think the thing about me though, I've always been a research person. And so I am very resourceful. I will find. And so, I just really just looked up everything. I was just, looking up things. Okay, what do I do about this? I mean, you can find everything on Google. Right. So, I talked to other colleagues about, just programs to use, and just, kind of looked up what they had suggested. And so, but I also have a background in business.
Okay.
So the difference really with me is, although I'm a licensed clinician, my undergrad degree is in business management.
Nice.
So, business wise, I have a good concept and I have a good, handle on how to manage a lot of different things.
Right.
As it relates to the financial aspect, which a lot of people don't have. And so that was really a help for me because I knew, and I used to do taxes. I actually did taxes. So I have a different level of knowledge.
Ooh, you go.
That a lot of people don't have when you come into a business. And so that's why I always encourage people, especially who wants to have their own business, you have to get some training in business. You have to take some business courses so you can fully understand what it means to own a business. You know, people don't understand profit and loss.
Right.
What is that? What does that mean? You know, before I came into the clinical world, I used to manage a retail store.
Right.
And so we had to, you know, always look at our P&L. You know, I had to purchase equipment and different things for the store. So I had to keep a balance, making sure, you know, that our numbers were still profitable. So those things I've already came into my world knowing.
Right.
And a lot of people don't do that.
Right.
So that was really a benefit for me. Of just being successful business-wise, because it's one thing to be an entrepreneur. It's a whole nother thing to be a business owner with employees where you have to pay taxes, you know, on different things. And so,
or for benefits, you know,
or add benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has been a whirlwind. And so, you know, I really try to solicit people who, you know, that's their expertise.
Yeah.
And they, you know, train me, and therefore I train my staff, you know, on the different things that we need. So it's been a lot. But it's been a lot. But we've been fortunate, you know, to one, you know, win some good grants, and also win some good contracts.
Wow. Yeah.
So that has been you know, that has really catapulted us. And so, you know, I'm really the type of person who I go after everything.
Yeah.
Everything that I see that I know we can do,
yeah.
You know, we're going after it. Yeah. You know, I'm not, you know, some people are like afraid, like, oh, I don't think I could do that. I'm the opposite. I feel like I can do everything.
Yeah, you're an average. You and I are the same. You and I are the same. We will be like, yes. And then
I can do that. Yes.
Because we know we can. At the end of the day, we know anything we put our minds to is going to get done. It's going to get done.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. So I know I know that personality all too well. But that's the winning spirit, though. I think that's the winning personality that people don't understand. It really is a mindset, which shift into why you do what you do. Therapy Services is about that mindset change. The one thing, my life warriors, I do want to mention to you that I picked up in Christi's conversation is relationships. Even before your business become a thought, you right now are your own brand.
Exactly.
So don't think for a second you're in that job, and if you're being nasty to people around you or nasty to the customers or the vendors, and then years down the road you want to start a business, you can't rely on those people. I heard Christi say she built some relationships before her business even became a thought. So the minute you started your business, all the people that you worked with loved you already. So they came running.
And you hit it on the nose. That is so important. Relationships are important. You know, I will tell you that Smile has never advertised.
Wow.
We have never marketed. Like literally, I'm trying to learn about marketing right now because we're in a different space now. And now I have to start marketing in some capacity. But to get to the point that we are in, we have never marketed. And, you know, and I don't say that lightly. I say that to say, build your network, use your network. Because they will help you, right? Especially if you have a good relationship. Right. I was a great counselor.
That's right.
And that is, you know, and that I took my own horn because I know I was a great counselor, but not only do I know I was a great counselor, all of my colleagues knew I was a great counselor. They know how much work I put in for my kids. They know how I felt about just making sure that they progressed. And, you know, I had great work ethic. they saw all of that. Right. So when it was time to connect me to people or, connect me to families, or they were happy to do that.
Right.
They were like, oh, yes, you definitely need to work with her. You definitely need to work with Christi. Like, I know what she's about.
Right.
And that went all the way up to the head of, that charter school that I worked in. Right. I can call on them to say, hey, I'm doing this. And they're like, oh, what you need us to do? How can we help you? And that is the type of relationships that you should have. And that's also the type of person you should be for other people, because that's how we could all continue to grow. So you are definitely correct. Networking is everything.
Yes, I love it. I'm loving your journey. So today I saw you posted something on LinkedIn actually that I love, and I want to hear a little bit more about this title. Your last speaking engagement, you said living with no ceiling, the 7-figure mindset.
Yeah.
I think I need that. I think I need that conversation.
I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link to the talk.
I love it.
Yeah,
living with no ceiling. Like that is
living with no ceiling. And and for me, it really, when he asked me to speak about something, because he just said he wanted to bring me on. He heard about my story. I met him at the event actually. And he was just like, you have to come and talk to my entrepreneurs.
Right.
And I was like, okay. And then just think about, what am I going to speak about? And for me, I always, really think about this glass ceiling that, we all are put in, per se, right? This box that people put us in. And I say us meaning women. I say us meaning people of color, or, any minority, because we are put in a box. We are, we are trained to think that we can maybe only go so high, or we can only do so much, or only receive so much income, right? Because this is your cap. And
yes,
as I continue to grow the business, I really wanted to push all the limits.
Yeah.
I want to break every stereotype that they have about us. I wanted to just show people that we can be as successful as anyone else.
Yes, that's what this show is about.
And, so my thought process on creating that title was, people have to know that there is really no ceiling to your success.
Yes.
There really is not. And then I say the 7-figure mindset, because when I was growing up, no one ever told me about being a millionaire, like making $1 million. I've never, ever talked about that. No one has ever talked about that with me. Right. And the reality is people are making millions and billions of dollars. But we are not trained, and we are not taught that we can be there.
We can be there, and it's possible.
And that is possible. We are not
so far out of our reach that we don't even go after it. And that's no lie, because I've never, even when starting a business, I never thought about making $1 million. Right.
Ever.
You were like, I'm starting a business.
Yeah, I'm starting a business. It's really, it's for my freedom. It's for me to have something for my family to leave to them, but it never dawned on me that you can make over $1 million.
Right. What was that like when you hit it? Was your mind blown? You were like, did that just happen? Like, when it comes, what do you say to yourself? Are you in shock?
I feel like I'm still in shock, but I think you are in shock, because you say, was that us? Are those our numbers?
Wait. Let me read that again.
And for us, you know, and honestly, I attribute everything to God, of course, you know, because I know that it was only him that had his hand in it, you know, and me trying to be obedient to the calling that has been on my life. And I know that's why we're successful. And that's why we will continue to be successful. But it is a shocker. It's a shocker, but then it's like, wow, now this is my reality. And now I am so driven to make this other people's reality.
Yes.
You know, my boyfriend and I actually are both entrepreneurs. We both have our own business. He had his own business way before I did. And he is the one that pushed me to have my own business. You know, he talked about value and making sure that you know your worth. And he was right. You know, I had to step out there and do my own thing.
Right.
And so now we talk to our nieces and nephews about ownership. Yeah. You know, about being an entrepreneur. Yes. You know, what does that look like? You know, we always talk to them about what they want to do, what they want to be. Even if they don't want to go to college, I think that's a whole misconception as well, that you have to go to college. Mm-hmm. I went to college, my boyfriend did not, and he is just as successful as I am. Right. And so our thing is, if you're not going to go to college, but you have to have a plan that's going to make sure that you are set up for success. Right. You know, and so it's just so important now for me to pour back into the next generation to know that it's possible. It's possible for you to, you know, not have a limit on your income, not have a limit on your success. You know, it's possible. And so that's really what I want to give back to the next generation. And that's why I continue to push so hard to be successful.
That's right. Listen, I am so happy I'm in your circle now.
Yes.
I know. I'm excited. And because just feeding off your energy, sometimes we need that as women, especially women business owners, women entrepreneurs, just having that like-minded soul that you could actually talk to about business, or even help in areas where I might be weak, you're stronger. I think all that is so important. But shifting gears just a little bit, I know that you mentioned corporate and taking your business to that next level, which is now trying to pivot into organizations in the corporate role. Is that what role do you see your business playing on the organizational side?
Yeah. So, you know, we really started to target corporations and organizations maybe right before the pandemic, or right when the pandemic started. Mm-hmm. And really what got us looking in that area were the individuals that were coming to therapy.
Right. Oh.
They were coming to therapy because of their workplace. Oh. You know, they were having bad anxiety, you know, due to micromanagers or due to an unhealthy workplace culture, you know, whether it's racism in the workplace or biases. It really affects people's mental health. And we were seeing it firsthand.
Yeah. So you're at the other end. That's really interesting now, because I am on the HR side, that seat, where I know mental health is very important. I know that we have to invest in employees' mental health. I know that every employee needs a coach. I know all of this, but I was never privy to what happens to the employees when they do leave a toxic culture each day. Now you're actually seeing them coming into your office just to receive therapy because of work. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Wow.
And it is a real thing. Yeah, it is a real thing. And we don't understand. I think, and this is why it's so important to really talk about mental health in the workplace. Yeah. Leaders and supervisors don't understand how your personality and how, you know, your different either nitpicking or micromanaging or, you know, really being like riding someone, how that affects them. Yes. We have had so many employers or employees come in because of what they're experiencing from their employer. And we started to see a trend. And, we really started to say, you know what, we need to get into these corporations. We need to start talking to these organizations that are employing these individuals to help put something in place for them so that they can understand that you are really affecting someone's mental health, and at the end of the day, even if they quit, they still struggle with that, whatever that has developed at that company.
Yes. And they carry it with them. That's the thing. They do carry it with them. I think it's so important for employers, managers, supervisors, colleagues, coworkers, everybody in the organization. You are affecting the person that you have to deal with on a daily basis. And you cannot use your own life experiences to manage someone.
Yes.
And that's what I see is happening. And the fact that people are seeking help on their own, which is great, at least they're coming for some therapy. But at the end of the day, they're receiving therapy and still going back into the same environment.
Exactly.
So what do we do, Christi? What do we do?
And we have to change the organizational structure. We have to change the workplace culture, right? Because an individual can go from job to job. And if those jobs all have negative workplace cultures, they're only going to be even more miserable every day.
Every day.
And so we really have to start looking within and really do a real assessment of, what type of culture do we have? Self-assessment first off, because how are the leaders leading?
Yes.
What type of culture and environment are you creating? I said this ever since I was a school counselor. Culture starts from the top.
It does. And, somebody actually argued me down once when I went in to do a culture assessment. And I'm like, well, I wanted to see talk to your leadership team first. Why? The problem is this department. No, it's not this department.
It starts from the top. If you have leaders, that have certain type of behaviors, or even that allow certain type of behaviors, then it's going to be allowed throughout the whole company, right? If you have leaders who are genuine and who are about helping people and helping them grow, and who are about positivity, that is going to exude throughout your whole company. Mm-hmm. But if it's the opposite, then that's going to exude throughout your whole company, because, everyone really plays off of the leadership.
Yes, absolutely.
And it only makes sense.
Exactly. And, at the end of the day, I'm going to give a free tip right now that really and truly, there's really 4 forces of disengagement when it comes to in organizations. That, from job fit, manager fit, but the big one, the major one is culture fit. If the culture is not in a place of where positivity, if it's not in a place where it helps employees to flourish, it empowers employees, it advances employees, it makes employees feel valuable. If managers don't manage with empathy, those are all things that humans need.
Exactly.
You're
right.
And I think that's where we do miss the mark, and we don't pay too much. We don't pay attention to, and I'm not even going to say we anymore, because I'm not in that category. I am going to say that's where organizations miss the mark. Yeah. And I think now with COVID though, and what happened with the pandemic, I've seen more and more organizations shifting towards focusing on mental health. But I am still a little concerned that it's only to show face. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah. So it's like, go ahead. You were going to say something.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I definitely agree. I feel like, during these last couple of years, because of all the different things that have gone on, a lot of organizations are saying they are going to focus on mental wellness, or they're going to focus on diversity and inclusion, right? Because of all of the unrest that we had. But actually, when you really get in there and start working with them, you see that they don't actually, want to truly change, but they want to put things in place so they can look good.
Yeah.
And people can tell. Employees can tell what's really, what's really genuine versus you're just putting this in place to shut me up.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And this is why the poor Office of Human Resources get a bad rep because then they make us carry out these tasks. We're the ones delivering the message and putting these things in place. And employees are not dumb. They're just not.
No, they're not dumb. And, people are feelers, right? We are feelers. We can feel if people are not true and feel if something is not right. Feel when something is disingenuous. We can feel that.
Yeah.
So we should be genuine, right? You should actually want to help your employees. I mean, they are the ones that's bringing in, the income for your company.
Yeah.
And so why wouldn't we want to put things in place?
Right.
Why wouldn't we want to help them with something so precious such as mental health? Right? Why wouldn't we want to do that?
Yeah. So I love that you're going to now incorporate, I guess, mental health with, I guess, trainings and things like that you're going to bring to the organization. Is that it? I made that up.
Yeah. So really what we do is, we are really promoting being more proactive. With mental health, right? And so, a lot of companies that we may talk to, they may say, oh, we have an EAP, but what is that, really? Yeah. What do they actually do for your employees, right? Usually the EAPs are more so a reactionary thing. Right. So once someone has been through something, maybe had a traumatic experience or maybe going through a traumatic experience at work, and then they reach out to their EAP. Right. Yeah. And usually when people reach out to the EAP, it's really because they are like on their last straw, and about to like have a break.
But and then like it's a disconnect. I feel like it's not personable.
Not personable. Yeah. Right. And let's not be a person of color because then you can barely find, a therapist in that EAP network that's a person of color, right? And we know how important that is for us, right? To have, a lot of us, we want to speak to someone of color. And that's just a priority for us. It's just, it's just what we want. Yeah. And so when you are going through the EAPs, which are, most of the time, these large national, international companies, that are nowhere near you, based out of this area, trying to find someone that's close to you that you can see, the experience is not always great.
Right.
Right. Right. But what if you actually were proactive about putting mental health inside of the corporations? Right. What if you actually had mental health and wellness workshops on a monthly or quarterly basis? What if you actually had coping skills like skill building training for your employees? So when they actually come into an obstacle, they are better equipped to manage it.
Right. Right. I love
Let's
that.
be proactive, about our mental health instead of being reactive. Yeah. And I feel like we have to do that for everything. They, really for the wellness, they will give you a gym membership.
Don't talk.
But if I'm depressed.
Gym membership, as we could see, what use is the gym now?
Right, because we can't hardly go. But if I'm depressed, I'm not going to the gym. If I have anxiety, I'm not going to the gym.
Yes.
And so we have to think about that. I think it's great. It's a good benefit for some people. Some people would never use a gym membership, but we have to think about what's holistic You know, what are some different things that really everyone could utilize? And it, you know, and we really start looking at the different types of wellness and integrating different initiatives and programs in place in corporations. So, you know, for us, like I was saying, you know, we really promote the wellness workshops. You know, we do a lot of wellness workshops for different corporations, for schools. That's when we actually started doing the wellness workshops. And well, we did a lot of parent workshops, right? And so what about if you look at the subcategories within your organization?
Yeah.
A parent's mental health versus a non-parent mental health looks so much different.
Right.
Parents have so many things that they have to deal with, right? So they not only have to worry about work or balance work, but they also have to balance their family life.
Right.
They got to balance their kids. And if they're married, balance their husband, you know, and what does that look like for them? And so we are really trying to help corporations start targeting groups within their organization. So yes, we could have some overall mental health wellness workshops, but let's actually do some targeted things too.
I love that.
Let's focus on the.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to, because as you were speaking, an idea came to my head, when you talked about targeted workshops, is like create a group within, even to do like a pilot test, like create a group within an organization that's really struggling, have just that group go through your series of workshops, whether it's on a monthly basis, and see where we are 6 months from now, where they are mindset wise, mental health wise, performance wise. Has that changed? Because exactly. I think no one has really ever said, let's test this. I think we keep talking because we know we've seen it happen over and over again as a success. But I wish organizations would just say, you know what? Let's take these core group of people, the ones that is constantly on performance review, constantly having issues, constantly calling out, because people call out because sometimes they can't stand their job. It has nothing to do with being
exactly.
sick. And let's put them through Smile Therapy Services workshop. I love it. I'm already like I'm telling you how to do this.
That's
girl.
Right.
And then see what happens, because you believe in your product and you believe in the fact that, you know, these wellness workshops are necessary. It's so necessary. Yeah. Why not invest in that?
Why not invest? But, you know, and something else that we do and that we actually have done for a large organization are safe space processing groups. And so, which even help, you know, which really even targets even more. And so we have done where that company specifically wanted to target their African-American and the AAPI employees, you know, because of all the different things that was going on with those specific two groups. They really wanted to put something in place specifically for them because the employees were crying out, like, we need something. You guys have to do anything for us. You know, we're going through all of this.
Right.
So we came in and actually did safe space processing groups with them. Now, what is that? Essentially, it looks like a therapeutic group. So it's a small group up to about 10 to 12 people where they literally go in. It's facilitated by a licensed therapist. And we go in and we really talk through a lot of different things. So what is going on with you? Wow. It can be your issues within the workplace. It can be some things you're struggling with at home and you really just want support around it. It can really be anything. We open the floor up to them to really talk about what is on their chest. It can be, you know, the national events. There was a lot of different feelings around the insurrection, you know, that happened and how that was handled. Right. And so we can really talk about anything that's affecting them.
Right.
And not only do we support them as the facilitator and therapist, but their colleagues support them within that group.
I love that.
And the reason, you know, we like to do target groups because we all are probably feeling something a little similar. And so, you know, let's go with the racial unrest. well, we target the African American community. And yes, we all felt a certain type of way about all of those different things that were going on. So we were there to support each other.
Right.
In how we were feeling.
Wow.
And so, and the groups were powerful with so many different things that came out in the group. And people were thankful that the company realized and actually started putting some things in place for them. But they were happy to have that space, right? It was a safe space for them. And that's what we call it, safe space sessions.
Yeah.
It was a safe space for them. So to say whatever they needed to say without feeling judged, without feeling like they were going to get repercussions from their workplace, because we don't work with the company, right? So whatever you say with us stays with us.
I love that. I love it. Feel free to use my 30 Days to a New You journal to facilitate.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
We have it now. We have access to it now. So we will definitely put that
Feel free. Okay. And you also have access to me if you need me to come and explain anything. I will.
Yes.
Well, oh my God, like this was just a wealth of information today, wealth of knowledge. Christi, I applaud you for just even making it this far. And I love your attitude about there is no ceiling. That's my new thing. There is no ceiling. We keep talking about breaking ceilings. There is none. Change your mindset.
Change your mindset. Change your life.
Yes. And any parting words? Is there one thing you would like to leave our life warriors with to keep them going, keep them motivated? What is it that you would like to say to our life warriors?
Well, one, I want to say, if anyone is struggling with their mental health, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to talk to someone. Don't be afraid to ask for help, right? Especially a person of color. One thing that we're really trying to do is continue to help break down the stigma that people have around mental health. That includes the stigma that's in the workplace as well. So we have to just continue to talk about mental health, continue to let people know that it is okay to not be okay.
Yes. Yes.
And it's okay to reach out for help because we cannot do it all on our own. Mm-hmm. And so I really want to encourage people to go and do whatever it is you need to do so that you can live your best life.
Yes. Whatever that is.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
If that is going to see a therapist, if that's getting a life coach, if that's going to see the psychiatrist, whatever that is for you, don't be afraid to do that. You are not going to be seen as weak or incompetent. Everyone needs help. We cannot do it alone. No. And so I would just encourage everyone to, in order to be strong, you have to lean on other people. Mm-hmm. So that we all can help each other to stay lifted.
Yes.
So that would definitely be just my encouragement. I want people to know that mental health is not a bad word.
It's not actually. It's a necessary word, and we need to put it at the forefront of our lives. We need to focus on it. We need to do the work to keep it grounded and stable. And
yes,
your mental health is personal. And as human beings, we are all 1 minute away from losing it. I'm sure. As business owners, we're here to tell you.
And if you are a business owner, you need to have a therapist.
Yes.
You don't understand how much we go through, the different obstacles. You're going to have someone who you can talk to about what is going on, just how you're feeling about things. And, we encourage all of our therapists to have therapists. And so it's really not an option. It's more of a requirement.
Yeah.
Because as you are helping people, even as a business owner, as you're helping people, you need someone to help you.
Yes. Absolutely. I have a new thing now where in the middle of the day, and it's cold outside, but it's okay. I still do it because that's what I need. I'll just get up and go outside and let the breeze hit me for a second
Yes.
and just be still. And I kid you not, I don't know what it is about that I feel rejuvenated and ready to go again. I'm like energized to like keep going. I'm just saying. So you have to find things that work for you. Everyone is different, you know. If I like the cold breeze to hit my face, I like the wind to just take whatever off of me sometimes and carry it, and then I start fresh. Find something. Find a routine.
Something.
Yeah. So there you have it. Thank you, Christi, for joining me today. I can't wait to share you with the world. And world, I hope you really, really enjoy Christi. I will put all her information in the links below. Find her on LinkedIn.
Find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, she is over there posting and giving us some real valuable messages that I love. So don't be afraid to connect with her. And in the meantime, do know that there is a coach out here that loves you.